Hello and welcome here to Benvarmeren breakdowns. Wanted to quickly analyze the pick and ban phase between Fnatic and Cloud9, day one of Rift Rivals, because I feel like this pick and ban phase was so interesting. There's a lot of different aspects to it, how you can view it, why they picked this and that. So let's just jump into it. So basically, Fnatic, they ban away the Nunu because Contracts had one big game on the Nunu. And then the sack ban obviously comes up because we saw Broxah have a pretty good game earlier on today on the sack. But you don't want to give Broxah that sack as well because of him being not because of him, because of sack being such a power pick in itself. So obviously you want to ban it that away. Looking at the second ban coming in from Cloud9, they ban away the Elise, and Elise is one of Broxah's most played champions. So obviously, when you know that he is so good at these early game junglers, you want to ban that away. You don't want to allow that over to him, especially because it brings a certain amount of safeness to the table. That Elise pick it is, because you have the Cocoon and the Repel. Now, Kennen is an obvious one. I don't want to go too much in depth with that. Obviously, Reckless also showed earlier today, I think it was game 2, that he can still play the likes of a Kennen despite the changes to the Runans, so that he can never use the Runans again because it doesn't proc to W from Kennens. On Kennen, like his W won't proc off of multiple Hurricane hits. Now, what I find interesting here in the pick and ban phase also is the fact that Fnatic, they ban away the Tahm Kench and the Braum. So basically, when you ban away the Tahm Kench, you take away that rescue ability from the Devourer, which counters the playstyle of Fnatic so damn hard. Basically, like, giving someone that much survivability because of the Devourer is not something you want to do, and obviously they just ban it away instead to make sure that they don't have to go up against that. And it's basically the same with Braum. Obviously, Braum isn't as bad as someone like Tahm Kench, but he brings a fair punch of crowd control as well to the table, and his unbreakable as well. So with the Unbreakable too, you again get so much survivability out of it. You can save 80 carries, mid laners, basically everyone on Cloud9 very easily with that pick, and therefore Fnatic, they ban it away so that they won't have their playstyle denied. But now, what's really open for the taking? Well, you can really only go for 2 picks right here. Fnatic, they can go for Lee Sin, because that is Broxah's second most played champion, or they can go for the Shen, or even the Fresh. So that's basically the 3 options that they have here. Let's analyze what this means. So you have Jazzes. He's not exactly a rookie anymore. He did play in the last split, but he's still a fairly new support to this whole scene. So is Caps, so is Broxah, but the difference is that Jesus has shown that he's a really good support on a lot of like a lot of the same picks, and he hasn't shown that he has a very deep champion pool. He can play Camille, Fresh, Syra. I even think that we've seen perhaps a Braum coming in there. So that's basically about it. Then on top of that, sorry, I can hear bird chipping. So on top of that, you have Broxah's Lee Sin, who sorry about that. So the thing is that the reason why I can hear bird chipping is because my mom found a bird outside today, like a small bird. I don't know what you call it in English. It got thrown out of its nest, and my mom is a biologist, so she really likes birds and nature and stuff like that. Decided that she wanted to take care of it, and now we have a chipping bird inside our house. Just had to go and check out what it is, why it's chipping, because I hadn't set a sound all night. And for those who don't know it, I have a hamster. She was running out on our bathroom. The instant we opened the door, because the bird was like out in the hallway, the instant we opened the door to the bathroom, my hamster just sprinted away from the sound. So she got very, very scared. Anyways, moving on. So you have two ways of doing it now. So we talked about the fresh. Fresh obviously is basically the most comfort pick you can go for right now for Jesses. Broxas Lee Sin would also be something you could go for. Contracts has been more of a tank player, so obviously you might be more like okay with not taking that instantly. And so as Shen might not be the highest priority too, because of him being able to play the likes of a Galio, which is still open for the taking. So basically, because I've seen this before, if we scroll ahead, like I know what they will pick, and it is going to be that fresh coming in here for Jesses, and I can understand why, because of, well, I understand. I remember a little bit of it. So basically, you pick the fresh again because of Jesses putting him on a comfort pick. And then what can Cloud9 really take here? Well, there are still the possibilities of stealing away the Tristana from Reckless, because of Sneaky also being able to play that Tristana, and we know that Reckless's champion pool really only consists of the Twitch, the Cannon, and the Tristana. And Tristana is still open for taking, so is Twitch. Cannon has been banned away. So there's only really these two picks that Sneaky could deny away from Reckless, and Tristana obviously is the best choice for Reckless right here. On top of this, we have also seen, if I remember correctly, Source play the Gragas. So you could take that away as well. However, because I've seen this before and I remember a little bit of it, I know that Sneaky will pick up the Caitlyn. And what is so smart about the Caitlyn, in my opinion, is that, well, you know, Reckless, he doesn't want to go for these laning phase AD carries. Basically, he wants to go for more the likes of, as I said, a Tristana and a Tristana, a Cannon, and a Twitch. And well, when you go for these picks, you obviously don't want to go for the laning phase, because they are known as to be these strong laning phasers. But instead, you put yourself in a position with the Tristana now where, well, you don't really care if Reckless picks the Tristana. You put yourself in a position as Sneaky where you don't care if he picks the Tristana or the Twitch, because you will have a fairly safe matchup anyways. You have the Caitlyn with the huge auto attack range. She'll be able to hold her own in the bottom side, and I like this idea, because then that means that, well, you won't really fall behind against Reckless, and then you can not exactly fight fire with fire, but you can at least force teamfights down upon Fnatic, which isn't exactly what they want to go for, which isn't exactly the playstyle that they like to do. And then on top of that, you have the LeBlanc, and LeBlanc obviously coming in here is a huge priority pick in the NALCS. And what would you picking up that LeBlanc, now you even have mid lane pressure, because, well, Jensen is right now regarded as top 2 in terms of mid laners in the NALCS. And with him getting that LeBlanc now means that he gets roaming potential too. He's able to get faster around the map, and even kill pressure is something that comes into play because of that LeBlanc being assassin and a huge roamer. But if you take a look at Fnatic, what can they now pick up? So they got the fresh for themselves. That's the comfort pick. Next up would obviously be a pick for Broxah. Lee Sin is still open, so you could take that away because Zac is not open, and Elise is obviously banned away. Then after that, there's the likes of getting a good matchup here for Caps. that could potentially be, let's say, a Galio, which if you wanted to take that into the mid lane, you could even go for Syndra, because of Syndra being able to use Scatter the Weak onto LeBlanc once LeBlanc jumps in. So basically you can go for picks in terms of just securing your comfortability. I don't know if that's a word, but it is now. Making sure that you are comfortable. So Lee Sin, pick it up for Broxa. Syndra could be a possibility for Caps. Galio for Soas if you don't want that Shen on top side. Tristana also for Reckless if that is a possibility, if you want to go for that. It's basically what now Fnatic they prefer to make sure that they will be comfortable in. And well, so Orianna being the pick here for Caps, I couldn't remember this, but with Orianna being a pick here for Caps means that, well, he's not that sure in matchup. So in the matchup going up against Jensen, because you could go for more aggressive mid laners. You would go for Cassio. She would not have a good good laning phase against LeBlanc, because LeBlanc would have so much kill pressure on Cassio. But once you reach your level 6, once you get the Petrifying Gaze, you would be able to have kill pressure on LeBlanc. Syndra as well, as I mentioned, with the Scatter of the Weak. However, you decide to go for the Orianna, and well, with Orianna then coming in, it means you will have so much more safeness in terms of what could really happen here in this game. This means that, well, with that Orianna being locked in, you will never really be put in a position where you should die, because obviously Orianna can push against LeBlanc, but even if she doesn't push, then she can safely stay under the tower because of her passive giving her extra magic damage onto her ultra attacks. You have the shield as well from Command Protect. So basically, whatever Caps does in this game, obviously is going to affect how much roaming potential Jensen will have. But it's not like he's going into a bad matchup, so to say, because just there is so much safeness in the playstyle of Orianna. And well, Cloud9 right here, what do you want to go for? So looking at what is still open for the taking, Braum is not really a priority. Tahm is not something you can go for. And then what is left in terms of supports? Well, Karma is still open if you want to go for more lane oriented, even roaming potential. What I would like to see for Cloud9 perhaps would be a jungler instead. Like, you have a fairly strong AD carry already in bottom side who fares really well with most supports. On top of that, you have a mid laner who can roam around fairly easily. And it's not like Fnatic, they have a lot of roaming capabilities themselves. They did not pick up the Corgi, which were a possibility for them. So instead, you could go for a jungler, meaning that, well, at least you will secure yourself perhaps a frontline if you go for the likes of a Rek'Sai or Gragas for contracts, knowing that he can play both those things. That would work for me also, because Gragas right here is a flex pick. They don't know exactly where he's going to go. He could go to the top side, he could go as a jungler, so I like the idea of just having the jungler right here being picked, well, most likely the jungler being picked up because of that anonymity. No, that's not even a word. I wanted to say like a Danish word, but I can't really remember how you say it in English, even if it's a word in English. Just having like this shroud to hide behind in terms of now what your Gragas is going to do. And then right here, well, obviously I would like to see perhaps Tristana being banned away, because you don't want to give that over to Fnatic. You're even missing a top laner, so Shen is also a possibility to ban away. Rumble comes as a little bit of a surprise because of So is not really being that much of a Rumble player. Obviously can play it, we've seen him play it before, but has favored the top laners as of now. And then obviously Fiora being banned away is smart because we haven't seen Cloud9 pick or ban the Shen or the Galio as of yet, and with both those two picks being open, you can still go for that in Fnatic. Like right now, even if Cloud9 didn't ban away the Shen or the Galio, Fnatic won't have to deal with a huge split pusher. But then now with that Gnar being banned away instead of the Galio or the Shen, obviously we have seen Soas played before, but with Gnar being banned away instead, now Fiora is a huge counter to Galio, even to Shen, fairly to Gnar as well. Like Gnar obviously can fare better against the Fiora, but Shen and Galio are countered fairly hard by that Fiora. So now again, perhaps support could be banned away right here. I don't know what you really want to ban away, Fnatic. Support is still open for Cloud9 and could perhaps be the way to ban something away. Even a Renekton might be favorable to ban away from Ray because of Renekton also being a bully in the top side. And well, with Soas most likely going for tank in the top side, Renekton don't want to go up against him because you won't really be able to put any pressure onto him. In the end, it is going to be Smoothie's Bard, which also is a good decision because obviously Cloud9, as I've said, they have roaming possibilities. They have strong bottom lane no matter what they will pick with that Caitlyn. Now they also have a fairly strong jungler, as at least that's what we're concluding for now. So taking away the Bard means that his ult is never going to come into play, meaning that they won't be able to find that one huge pick that they really want to go for, and therefore should be in a better position than sorry, let me rephrase that. Because of them not having the ult from Bard, they're not going to be able to find that pick that they could want perhaps with that board, and that definitely favors Fnatic, but still Renekton is now open for the taking, and just picking a safe top laner would be advisable here for Cloud9, meaning that whatever Fnatic they really pick up, being a let's say a Shen or a Galio, is not going to be something Cloud9 will have a hard time against because of Renekton being that bully in the top side. So right here, it all depends on Reckless. Like you have the Tristana or you have the Twitch. That is basically the two things you can go for as Reckless because you don't go for anything else. So either you go for the Twitch or the the Tristana or the Twitch. Tristana or Twitch. And if you go for Twitch, you obviously might want to go for something like Shen to have the submarine effect. Same kind of goes for Tristana because you can just drop in and do the nuclear strategy instead. But with Twitch, having a front line is also very favorable, and a Galio in some senses would work better because of his multi-man type of stun coming in there, because Twitch with his spray and pray can hit people so easily, and if you have that Galio, if you pick that for Fnatic, then it's so much easier to land multi-man stuns or snares, I guess it is, onto Cloud9 than it is to land a huge taunt. There we go, a huge taunt with the Shen. So probably going to be a Galio right here, and also means that well you will have a fairly easy time roaming around. Now what is left for Cloud9 to pick up in terms of supports? Braum being banned away, Time Kench being banned away, Bard, Karma still open, Nami, not quite sure what you could really else go for here. Depends on Smoothie. Obviously Blitzcrank could be something to go for. Okay, so okay, Blitzcrank coming in instead. That's not exactly what you would like expect for Cloud9 to pick up with that Caitlyn. It's not like it brings a lot of pick potential as a not a kill pressure with your Caitlyn, but it works. I like the idea because you want to get out of laning phase against Fnatic, then punish them in terms of team fighting. Your roaming capabilities with that Blitzcrank will be so huge because of Caitlyn being down in the bottom side, being able to hold her own with the auto attack range. Then you can just pair up with Contracts and Smoothie having the overdrive, and the rocket grab is going to be so easy to get around this map. And then obviously you have Jensen with the ethereal chains and his burst damage in the mid lane. Blitzcrank is a it's probably the best choice you could pick up here in terms of getting even more pick potential. Obviously, if you want to play more for the laning phase, then Karma or Siren would have been better. But if you're looking to shut down the likes of Caps or Soas, then getting roaming strength is probably the way to go, especially now that Bard is down. And overall, I have to say that I feel like I like the idea coming in from Fnatic. I don't like the Orianna pick because I feel like that is kind of misplaced. I would much rather have seen a Corki or Syndra just to have the possibilities to help multiple lanes, especially when you play around Reckless, because if you could send a Corki down to the bottom side to help Reckless, then that would be a way of securing a comfortable laning phase for him. On top of that, you have the source, of course, to help, but you don't have that. You have an Orianna, and once her summoner spells has been blown, she's going to be so vulnerable to Jensen, to Contracts, to Smoothie, and that is a way for Cloud9 to win this game, to just basically tear open the mid lane and then force Caps into a position where he has literally no damage, and you have to pull all your eggs into one basket, a Reckless basket, and well, Reckless doesn't have a lot of mobility too, and it's so easy to get to the backline after Contracts or Jensen at this point. So a nice response coming from Cloud9, and a bit of a sloppy laning phase, pick and ban phase coming in from Fnatic. But that does it here from this episode of Benvarmeren Breakdowns. I hope you liked it. I hope you will watch it all, and I'll see you next time. So have a nice one, guys.